Okay, hi guys. Today we're going to be working on combining variables and doing variables on both sides. We've done combining variables before, so this is just a review, and we only got to do a little bit of variables on both sides last week, so I'm going to give you more practice of it today. And then tomorrow or Thursday we will work on more of the variables on both sides, just adding a little bit to it. Basically, just so you know, that's how we'll wrap up the week, is doing variables on both sides. And then we will move on to inequalities for a little bit next week. And then next week, Friday, which would be February 26th, will be your assessment day. So far, that kind of depends on snow days and things like that. Okay, so let's get to work today. So you'll remember when we are combining variables, we want to look for the variables and then combine them. So in our first example here, we see that we have a 6x. We also have a minus 2x. Remember, you are keeping the sign that is in front of your coefficient, the number in front of the x. So you're keeping the sign with your variable and number. So this is like a positive 6x, and this is a negative 2x. So 6 minus 2x gets us 4x. 6 minus 2 is 4. Do not forget to keep your x with it. We haven't done anything with it yet, so it needs to stay right next to your 4. Then I'm just going to drop everything down that we didn't use. So I still have a plus 3 equals 19. This looks now exactly like everything you've ever done. So you want to get rid of this plus 3 first. So you're going to do the opposite of plus 3, which is minus 3. 19 minus 3 is 16. Bring down my 4x because I didn't do anything with it yet. And I have 4 times something equals 16. Could divide by 4 on both sides. And then I would get x is equal to 4. Okay, so I'm combining my variables first, which got me my 4x. Then I brought everything else down. I wanted to get the x on one side, so I had to do the opposite of plus 3, which is minus 3. And then I got 4x is equal to 16, get x by itself, so I did the opposite of 4 times x, and I divided by 4, so x is equal to 4. Let's try another one here. Okay, so I'm looking at what two things both have the x's in it. I have a 7x, and I have a minus 4x, so this is like a positive 7. So I have positive 7x minus 4x. 7 minus 4 is positive 3x. And then I'm just going to bring down everything I didn't use. I didn't use my minus 5 equals 10 yet. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of my addition and subtraction first. I'm going to do the opposite of minus 5, which is plus 5. Bring down my 3x is equal to 15, and divide by 3 on both sides. And then I get x is equal to 5. Sorry if you can hear my family in the background. And so x is equal to 5. Okay, let's look at our next example here. I'm looking for the two things that have my x's in it first. I have a minus 9x and a minus 3x. Okay, so this, you'll notice, this is where we have to think about our integers and our, what do we do when we have two negatives and we're adding? So they're both negatives, which means I am going to, sorry, not what I wanted to do. Which means I'm going to add my numbers. Negative 9 minus 3 is a negative 12x. I still haven't done anything with my plus 7, so I bring it down. So now I have negative 12x plus 7 equals 31. Now I need to get x by itself, and I need to do the opposite of adding 7 first, which is subtracting 7. So I'm going to take minus 7 on each side. And now I have negative 12x equals 24. The opposite of timesing by negative 12 is dividing. So I'm going to divide by negative 12 on each side. And I get x is equal to negative 2. Okay, So I combined variables, which got me negative 12x. Then I did the opposite of my addition and subtraction. So it got me negative 12x is equal to 24 now. And then I did the opposite of multiplication, divide, and I got x is equal to negative 2. So I combined variables. I got my x's on one side and my numbers on one side by doing addition and subtraction first, and then multiplication and division next. Okay, let's try another example. Okay, so I'm looking to combine variables first. What two things have my x's? I have a minus 10x and a plus 8x. So negative 10 plus 8, they're different signs, meaning we're going to subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2x. Which number was bigger, 10 or 8? Well, 10 was bigger, and in front of 10 is a negative sign. So I have a negative 2x minus 12, I'm just bringing down what I didn't use, equals negative 16. Okay, then I need to get my x by itself, and I need to do addition and subtraction first. So I'm going to take the opposite of minus 12, which is plus 12. Notice here, these are different signs, meaning I'm going to subtract. 16 minus 12 is 4. And 16 was my bigger number, and in front of it is a negative, so it's a negative 4. So now I have negative 2x is equal to negative 4. I divide by negative 2 on each side, and I get x is equal to a positive 2 because when we're multiplying and dividing, two negative signs cancel each other out. And so x is equal to a positive 2. Okay, so that would just be combining variables. The next topic that we're going to touch on, mainly what we did already, is review. We've already done that. What we're doing next is what was on the back side of your morning work last week, which we didn't get to because of our snow days. So this is when variables are on both sides. So we need to get x's on one side and get your numbers, just your plain numbers, on the other side. Okay, so on this guy, we have 7x and 10x, okay? We need x's on one side of the equal sign and numbers on the other side of the equal sign. So this 12 here, it is already on the left side. So it would make more sense for us to just move this guy so that it could be over with its other friend, 10x. So we're going to do the opposite of plus 7x, which is minus 7x. And if I do it on one side, then I have to do it on the other. So 10x minus 7, 10 minus 7 is 3. And don't forget to keep your x, 3x. So now I just bring down my 12. 12 is now equal to 3x. So 3 times what equals 12? You could divide on each side if you really wanted to. And you would find that x is equal to 4. Okay? So the hardest part is just knowing which side to move your numbers. I would say whatever side your plain number is on without the x, just leave that guy there and move your x's around. Okay? So let's look at this next one. I'm looking at this guy here. My plain number is already on the right side. So it would make more sense for me to just move this negative 6x away from it. So I take the opposite of minus 6x, which is plus 6x. So 5x plus 6x is 11x. So 11x is equal to negative 11. I just brought my negative 11 down. Now I have 11 times something equals negative 11. If I want to, I can divide on each side by 11. And I have x is equal to negative 1. I only had one negative sign, so that means my answer is negative. Okay. let's move on to this next example here. So I see that my plain number, this negative 16, that's already on the left side. So it'd make more sense for me to move this 9x and get it over to the other side. This is technically a plus 9x. The opposite of plus 9x is minus 9x. Okay, so now I have a positive 5x minus 9x. They're opposite signs, different signs, so it means I'm going to subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4x. Don't forget your x. 9 was my bigger number, and in front of 9 was a negative sign, so it's a negative 4x. So now I bring my negative 16 down, and negative 16 equals negative 4x. I need x by itself, so I'm going to do the opposite of timesing by negative 4, which is dividing by negative 4 on each side. Two negatives when I'm multiplying and dividing makes my answer positive. So positive 4 is equal to x. Okay. Next one. Look here, my plain number is just this positive 14 plus 14. So I want to move this negative 8x so that it's on the opposite side. So I'm going to do the opposite of minus 8x, which is plus 8x. These are different signs, so it means I'm going to subtract. 15 minus 8 is 7x. Don't forget about your x. And then my bigger number was 15, and in front of 15 was a negative sign. So it's a negative 7x is equal to a positive 14. I just brought that guy down. So I'm going to say negative 7 times x. The opposite of that is dividing by negative 7. I only have one negative, so that means my answer is negative, and x is equal to a negative 2. Okay, last example for the day. I'm looking for my plain number, which is this negative 30 right here, which means I need to move this 2x guy. Take the opposite of this plus 2x, which is minus 2x. These are both the same sign, so it means I'm going to add them. 8 plus 2 is 10x, and I keep my negative sign because I'm just adding and subtracting. They don't cancel out unless I'm multiplying and dividing. So negative 10x is now equal to negative 30. Opposite of timesing by negative 10 is dividing by negative 10 on each side. Two negatives when I'm multiplying and dividing make a positive. So my answer is x is equal to a positive 3. Okay. So that is our lesson for the day. There is a worksheet that will appear in your math folder under your name in OneNote, and this is if it's a snow day or e-learning day. So this is what it looks like. There are examples of each of the different types that we did today, combining variables and the variables on both sides. There are 16 questions, and it will show up as an assignment on Teams as well. When you finished it, make sure that you press the Turn In button on Teams. Okay? If you have any questions, you can always email me or send me a message on Teams.